Yeah. Well, welcome to Uncanny Contemplation, where we explore the macabre nightmares of reality through the mediums of art and gaming. I am Poet once again, and I'm joined by the king of the hobos, Armadox. Hello.
How you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm feeling a little full of rage, a little, as it might be, as we're about to transform into horrible rage beasts under the full moon, maybe. I don't know.
Uh, we're finally done with Jake Huntington. We're experiencing a new game.
Well, who
Uh,
knows? Maybe it'll let us name our character in this game Jake Huntington. I don't know.
that'd be great.
I don't think that's the
Just
case though, because I think
just
we're
Jake Huntington in every game.
a specific lady werewolf in this, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, so we're gonna play Werewolf the Apocalypse: Heart of the Forest, and we were chatting a little bit about how much we remember about White Wolf and their many games and lores. What do you remember about Werewolf the Apocalypse?
Very little, unfortunately. The group that I was in liked to pick up all the weird books and completely missed the werewolf versus vampire stuff. So this is all going to be basically new to me.
So what I remember about Werewolf the Apocalypse is I remember I liked the werewolf hacker clan, which was like called the Glass Weavers or something. Glass Walkers. There you go. I like them, and I bought a book about playing and role playing the family of werewolves, like the non werewolf werewolves, the people who know that they have werewolf brothers and sisters, but are just kind of there. And it it showed me the most intense evil plan ever, where one of the evil corporations in this world realized that they only test gas pumps at 5 gallons and 10 gallons. And so they invented gas pumps that drastically don't give you as much gas as they say, except for they catch up at 5 and 10. And I'm like, wow, that's exactly the kind of thing we need a werewolf to go in and fix, I think.
this this just the economic werewolves
Well,
fixing the.
I mean, Werewolf the Apocalypse was all about, they were I forget what the good god is, but they were fighting against the Weaver, who is basically modern society. So yeah, corporations and stuff, that they're the enemy.
I should have played more werewolf.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff. Anyway, so this is Heart of the Forest. This is like they did like a reboot, and then they did a reboot because they made Werewolf the Rage, which I didn't care for. Because again, instead of being that sort of like nature versus society narrative, it was like I'm a white wolf vampire, but angry. Instead of my hunger, it's my
Ooh,
anger that I worry about. I didn't find that nearly as compelling. But yeah, we'll see what this is all about. This is Heart of the Forest. Oh, my view isn't showing. Why not? Oh, there it is. It took a second. Here we are. Heart of the Forest. Hashtag werewolf hot F. Got some hot F in here.
oh,
Some
fun, fun.
real hot F. Let's start a new game. I would love to delete my non-progress that I made.
Making sure the game even works. Yeah.
Yeah, basically. Prologue, premonition. Start the chapter. I would love to. Okay. Well, up in the corner it says we're Krinos form. Says the character sheet. We don't have a name. We don't have a personality, and we are healthy, so that's nice. We've got rage meter. Rage describes your supernatural anger. Be careful when you rage. Ooh. High rage allows Maia. Spoilers! It says I don't know who I am. Willpower is a pool of points you can spend to perform actions that are difficult. Yeah. Health is your life force. Ooh. Moon phase, full moon. It's summer already. All right. Did you know it was summer already?
Oh, well, what better to turn into a giant rage monster than during, summer break?
Get out there, enjoy the woods. So tutorial, it says this game is about rage. Now it helps us to do things that need to be done as well as things we later regret, sometimes both. How do you feel about that? Great, I'm always angry. I'm okay with anger when it's useful, or I prefer to think before I act.
We played the entire last game without having any fighting ability whatsoever. So perhaps we should, be some angry this time.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm always angry. Your rage is high. So you're an inspired warrior type. That's okay. There's no right path here, just your decisions and the consequences. Our options are yeah, fuck consequences. And let's start already. We have a story to tell.
Yeah. We don't do consequences here.
Yeah, fuck consequences. Fuck them. Oh, we got 1 point of brave from that, apparently.
Off to a good start. Look at us go.
All right, we're now in the forest. The woods are full of stars. They flicker, come closer, run away. They want me to chase them to play hide and seek. Do we hunt them or do we observe them?
We're not Jake Huntington. Observation.
Yes, we're giving up our observing ways. We're gonna hunt. We gained another point of brave and a point of inspiring and analytical, apparently. They dance around tree trunks, float up the gust of wind that shivers through the branches and disappear among the leaves. Let out a howl, eager to run with them. I want everyone to know I'm here. They bunch up and fly towards me like an arrow. Rushing down, they're soon upon me. Just before the spear of light pierces my breast, they disappear, and the dark of night returns. And then it has a symbol that says this paragraph only occurred because we have maximum rage right now. In the darkness, I feel the tangled roots of stories keeping the forest alive, and finally I catch the scent of the enemy. I jump forward, and then I wake up. Confused, I open my eyes. The forest around me is thick, dark, and reeks of decay to such an extent it's hard to breathe. We can pick the smell fascinates me, I recognize this forest, or why am I here?
Why am I here? Let's start off with trying to figure ourselves out.
Yeah. Head is spinning. Why am I here? There must be a reason. Tree trunks wrapped tightly in dark leaf ivy are covered in a ripple of lichen where the vines haven't taken hold. The thorny leafless bushes at their base are overrun with nettles. The fungi radiate with ghoulish, sickly green light. Dark sponge-like mushrooms cling to the fallen trees. I try to breathe. I'm cold, or something is rotten. It says we're human.
Rotted.
It says in the corner, it says we're in Hamid form again, so it says we're human again.
Oh. What a start. What an interesting start this game has. Yeah, let's complain about the rot.
Yeah, something's rotten. I take the feeling that something died nearby. I look down and see my hands covered in a dark substance. I'm naked. Sticky, glistening film of liquid clinging to my skin. I can feel in my face, my hair. Blood. We can shout at the forest, or we can ask, what's happening?
Well, we've already decided we're going to be angry. Let's shout at the forest.
Damn you, forest! That upped our
It's your
brave.
fault I'm here.
I scream from the bottom of my lungs, a long, guttural, terrifying roar that no one hears. Scream wakes something deep inside my chest, and then I see there's a severed head in front of me. Okay.
Is it a person head?
So, it says some choices are hard to make and they will strain your willpower. Right now we have 2 points of willpower and 5 points of rage. We can spend a point of willpower to wince and touch the head, or we can lose a point of rage and puke.
Uh, all right. We can go less rage. We can keep ourselves from.
All right, I'm gonna be sick. Love it. Faces contorted, the eyes bulging, mouth open, tongue sticking out. It's obscene. I feel bile rising in my throat and I start to retch. Then my eyes open in the darkness. The enemy! Or who is it?
Oh, those are choices.
Yeah, those are our 2 choices, yeah.
Uh, the enemy. Let's be conscious or self-conscious here.
I see their silhouettes, shades of jet black against the darkness. They reek of metal and acid and oil and money. Massive creatures, some with mandibles, some with spidery legs. Their faceted eyes burn like small industrial furnaces. I look at them. Something wakes inside my chest. Because we have high rage, we can go into a rage, or we can panic.
Nah, let's be mad.
All right, yeah. Hurrah! That upped our brave and our inspiring, it seems.
We're gonna be super brave.
Well, right now it just says personality assessment, so I think it's like it gonna determine our tribe, probably off of this. That's my guess. Throw myself in the direction of shining eyes and launch myself into the air. My whole body sings with the rush of adrenaline. I descend and sink my teeth into the neck of a monster that was stupid enough to stand in my way. In a moment of clarity, I almost understand what the forest wants from me. And then I wake up. All right, that was the prologue. We have tutorialed.
Did we win?
Chapter 1, The Arrival. Maia, wake up! Oh, our stats have gone down significantly. It says our name now is Maia Borodich, age 24, profession student, nationality American.
Oh, yeah. Good. Good to know.
And after the tutorial, we have 4 points of brave, 2 points of inspiring, a point of analytical, and no spiritual or cunning.
Oh, we went way down.
Yeah. I jerked upright, irritated. My neck was stiff, and the movement sent a sudden, sharp wave of discomfort through my body. I wasn't in the forest anymore. I was in a bus. The sun streaming through the windows, making it hard to see. The girl next to me was touching my shoulder, disturbed. Since we have high rage, we can push her away, or we can spend 1 willpower to calmly say what happened.
We gotta pretend to be human now? We'll spend the willpower.
All right, now it says that Anya is sympathetic. Yeah, what happened? Overcoming the urge to put her away was hard. Overcoming your rage strains your willpower. She looks at me, concerned. You were singing, I guess, in your sleep. I blinked. The memory of the dream was still there, and the overwhelming smell of the forest. We can look outside the bus, or we can be glad we weren't alone.
What's outside the bus?
Okay.
Get a sense of our surroundings.
Yeah, I must have bitten my lip, I thought as I ran my tongue over my teeth. The forest outside the window was watching me. The girl next to me shook her head. Thank God, we're almost there. Her name was Anya. We met a couple of weeks earlier on the orientation day. She was from Norway. Tall, broad-shouldered, calm person who wore her hair in braids. Somehow I'd managed to talk her into this crazy field trip across the land of my ancestors. We can say we were here to study medicine, or because Anya is sympathetic because we didn't actively shove her around. We can see that she is excited and comment on that instead.
Uh, let's not be a doctor in this one too. Let's let's make friends with Anya.
Only doctors, only games with doctors, only horror games with doctors. That's the Uncanny Contemplation way. She seems excited. Anya reached into her backpack and took out 2 apples. I'm really glad we decided to come here, she said. Yeah, I said, offering her some of my kabanusi, dried meaty sausages that were so much better than the original Polish ones back in the U.S. I'm glad that Anya has decided to come with me. I had problems keeping friends around, and I really needed one. I did some searching, she said over her phone, and this place is amazing. The last primordial forest in Europe. This trip was my idea. Our summer language course was starting in a few weeks, and I managed to talk Anya into skipping the tour of concentration camps and old churches and visiting Białowieża National Park. That's my guess. Białowieża National Park with me instead. So far, it's beautiful, she said, her eyes smiling. But why are we here again? That's a good question. Why were we here? There being Białowieża. Oh, and now it has a pronunciation guide. Białowieża. Okay, I was pretty close. Białowieża is a village in Poland's Podlasie province, in the middle of the Białowieża. I'm gonna keep trying this. I'm gonna get it. Białowieża. Forest. Okay, I'm done. It's a village in southeast Poland near the border of Belarus. It's famous for its national park, the very last European bison, and according to a quick web search, occasional tensions between far-right troublemakers and the local Belarusian community. Hassan's answer would have been because I've been dreaming about the forest in Białowieża. Białowieża. As I can remember. Białowieża.
I'm glad I'm not doing the reading part of this.
You try it. Białowieża. Białowieża. Bee forest. Yeah. I've been dreaming about this since as long as I can remember, but people didn't understand when I said things like that. I kept it simple so I wouldn't freak her out. I told her as much as I could. Or we can spend our last point of willpower to tell her everything.
I'm actually a werewolf. No, I don't want to do that. Let's go with, what were the other choices?
I kept it simple so I wouldn't freak her out, or I told her as much as I could.
Simple. Very simple. I like how she's only now questioning why we're here.
Okay. Our relationships with family now says it's complicated.
Oh, great.
Okay. I'm looking for my roots. I kept it simple so I wouldn't freak her out. What I didn't tell her was even more important. I knew my family was from there. None of my relatives spoke about it, though. There were a lot of things that weren't spoken about in my life. Strange dreams that plagued me, half-forgotten tales about forests and wolves that I had heard before my mom took me, ran away, and cut off all contact with my dad and his family. I waited for her to respond. Anya fell silent for a moment. Because she's sympathetic, she says, I think it's great you come from such a magical place, she smiled. The last ancient forest in Europe, thousands of years old. Wasn't sure if I was fond of that magic, but it was hard to ignore. And it's precisely why I needed to do something, anything about my future, the damn forest, and my weird-ass family. I had a clear goal in mind. I wasn't there by mistake. I planned this trip for months with a clear goal in mind. Okay. I had to face the forest. I had to learn the truth about my roots. I had to figure out my destiny.
Ah, that's a hard one. Uh, yeah, destiny. We'll be, weird hippie werewolf.
Grandfather's cryptic remarks, strange dreams, all the drama with my dad's family, something was coming for me, something big. Wasn't sure what to believe. Alright. It added that to our character sheet. Our goal is to fulfill our destiny. Oh, and it says anytime we pursue our goal, we get willpower back.
Cool.
Alright. I wasn't sure if I believed in destiny, but I needed to understand what was happening. I was ready to face whatever fate had in store for me. I'd had enough sitting idly by as things happened to me. Bawo Veza looked like an overexposed photo of a village with contrast turned all the way up. The sun wasn't just shining, it was shouting at the earth. It was going, "Fuck you, Earth. I hate you. I hate you, Earth."
That sounds about right. That's what I would imagine.
Yeah, everything. The trees, the grass, the wooden houses, the fences seemed weathered. Thing except the shadows, they were sharp, as though they were freshly printed with the darkest of inks, and they moved. A second I could have sworn they moved, but then I realized it was just a black cat walking down the sidewalk. When it saw me, it stopped in its tracks. I decided to ignore it. I watched it with suspicion. I tried to pet it.
Pet the cat.
Pet the cat. "Here, kitty, kitty," I said, squatting and reaching towards the cat. My rage is high, so it said in a flash it swatted my hand away with its paw, drawing a few drops of blood. I yelped. "Hey, Maya," Anya said, looking at me surprised. "Didn't you say your friend would be waiting for us?" But he wasn't there, and the cat was still staring at me. "Let's go." Anya put on her backpack. "I'm tired. I really need to find a toilet."
Defeated the cat.
For a moment, I was tempted to just get out of the sun and worry about my missing friend later. We can give in to our high rage and storm off, angry because a cat swatted at us. How dare. Or the meeting was just too important and we can go to the meeting. Damn you, cat.
Are we yeah, let's be mad at the cat.
Yeah, fuck you, cat. I grabbed my backpack and started walking. "I hate when people are late," I muttered under my breath. I was walking fast, and it took a while for Anya to catch up with me. Vesa had few hotels and hostels, but the preferred form of accommodation was bed and breakfasts, and that's where we stayed. Found one that was nice, clean, and had good reviews. We had a room on the second floor with a huge window and a great view of the forest. Dropped our stuff and freshened up a bit. "Maybe we should have waited for your friend?" Anya asked, concerned. I shrugged. "I'll find him sooner or later." Before you go, check your character sheet. Find a lot of useful info about Maia, her background, personality, goals, and so on. You can also check who your friends and enemies are. Okay, let's see. Yeah, we've checked all this. All right.
Do you make an enemy of the cat? Does it say cat?
It doesn't say that the cat is our enemy, but hopefully soon. Yeah. So, Bialvesa was a quaint tourist town, but I had other things in mind. Okay, we have a map now. Clear goal in mind. Milan was calling me. I wanted to understand my destiny. Anya went with you. Okay, we can either go to the forest or we can explore the town that we're in.
Let's just go to the town on account we're supposed to be looking for somebody.
As we walked through town, Anya nudged me and pointed at a tall, broad-shouldered, freckled guy standing at the bus stop with a lost expression on his face. I remember his face from pictures on social media. It was the friend that stood me up earlier. We can give into our high rage and still be angry at him for being late, or we can greet him.
Greet him. It's not like it's his fault.
Bartek is neutral to us, apparently. Bartek, I asked, getting his attention. Maia, what are you doing here? Blair was surprised when he saw me. I was sure you're coming on the later bus. We started walking and talking. His accent was broad and East European. We can flood him with questions. We can see that Anya liked him, or we can see that he's looking at us. He's giving us the googly eyes, the gushy moo kissy eyes.
Oh, jeez.
That's a technical term.
In a technical term.
As a doctor, so it's studying to be a doctor. I can tell this is a technical term.
Flammable question. Let's not make the same mistake we did last time.
Luckily, he loved talking about his home, so when I flooded him with questions, he kindly obliged. He talked about how the village had become a tourist destination, how the logging business moved to a nearby town, how the trains stopped coming, and the local station had been turned into a hotel for wealthy foreign hunters. The dozens and dozens of bison statues scattered around the village watched us indifferently. We walked along the only street in the village, nearing the center, if you could call it that. Every house had a garden, and the air was dense with the fragrance of flowers. I took a deep breath. Because our goal is our destiny, we ask, so what have you found in the way of local folk tales / creepy prophecies / weird shit, I asked. Bartek shook his head. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Sorry. He was avoiding my eyes. A trickle of sweat ran down his temple. Because our rage is high, we're saying he was lying straight to my face. What the fuck, man? I threw my arms in the air. You wrote to me a few days ago, said you had something. But he just claimed up. You know what? I think you should drop it.
Oh, good.
So I stopped, and we could give it to our rage and say that was the final straw. We could unleash all of our charm, or we can feel hurt.
Do we have any charm? Do we have any charm to unleash?
Let's see. Our personality assessment shows that we have no cunning or spirituality. We're mostly just brave.
Oh, well. Maybe we can get cunning and that if we try to not do something, let's unleash our charm.
Turned to Bartek and looked him straight in the eyes. I put my hand on his chest. I really had no plan after that part, so I panicked. Felt a sudden urge to do something unnecessary and over the top. So we could give it to our rage and just kiss him. We could look deep into his eyes, or we can use our last point of willpower to swallow my pride and just ask the question that we want to ask.
That's a dumb way to go about it. No, I don't wanna deal with Bartek. Let's use our willpower. Let's try to be, more than our base, interest.
All right.
Making an enemy of what's her face if we do.
Oh, that upped our inspiring, but our condition is now impaired because we have no willpower left. Keep track of your decision how Maya approaches problems. They will accumulate and gradually reveal what kind of person she is deep in her heart. The story changes to reflect Maya's personality. Your willpower dropped to 0. When you lose all your health or willpower, you become impaired. This will make physical tasks if you have 0 health, or social and mental tasks if you have 0 willpower, harder or sometimes impossible. Well, he brushed his forehead with the back of his hand. I did ask. I started with the old people here. I told them that my friend from the States was looking for her roots. I wanted to know about the place her family came from. You know the drill. First, people were very, receptive. I waited for the other shoe to drop. And then I mentioned your name. He shook his head. We can urge him to continue, or we can take a moment to calm down and lose 1 point of rage.
Where'd you continue? I want to know what the. I'll see what happens if we go overboard.
Bartek, no dramatic pauses, please, I urged him. The tension is killing me. One of the old men here told me to go to hell, the other spat on the ground, and the wife crossed herself. For a moment he looked younger and smaller, and then my own grandmother told me to stop asking. She said something else as well. I tensed up. What? I asked. She told me to pray for you. Suddenly the sweet golden afternoon wasn't so sweet and so golden anymore. We can give in to our rage and say I was furious. We could say that piqued my interest, or who was I?
That piqued my interest. Why am I now suddenly the pariah?
I knew there was something weird and twisted connecting me and my family to the forest. A shiver ran down my spine. We walked in silence. My mind was in overdrive. People didn't want to talk, and that could only mean one thing. I was on the right track. We are giving in to our destiny, and we gained a willpower.
Yes.
It says, hint, people were scared when they heard my name. People were scared when they learned I was coming to town. They didn't even want to hear my name. Okay, cool. Every time you learn to do something significant that brings you closer to your goal, you regain willpower. I was ready to see some sights. Time to see the sights, I nodded to Bartek. Show me everything this place has to offer. Walked through the village, bathed in the sharp rays of the summer sun. It was a lazy afternoon, disturbed only by occasional passing car and the throwing up of clouds of dust that hung in the air long after the vehicle was gone. Anya was walking close to Bartek, asking him about every little detail in the village. People were relaxing or working in their yards, dogs were barking, and every cat we passed froze to look at us. Because of our high rage, I noticed some unfriendly stares from people too, not many, but enough to notice. Because of our high rage, we can say, I feel like they were looking specifically at me. We can question why the stares, or we could say, I expected fewer stares. I calculated how many stares I was going to get, and I expected at least 3 less stares.
No, like we were fine right up to this last banister, which no, one banister too many, too many stairs.
Exactly.
I
I think it's talking about the other kind of stares, but sure, like they're looking at you because we're weird out of towners.
Well, I'm. That makes a lot more sense. Ignore everything I just said. No.
Although I do like the idea that like everyone in the town is like building very unfriendly staircases all over the place. It's like why are you building another staircase?
Well, I can't see which version of stairs I'm looking. Not from my vantage point. Okay, so yeah. Let's be mad at the stairs.
All right.
Now anti-stare.
Yeah, I felt like they were looking specifically at me. What'd you tell people about me? The stares made me snappy, because they sure look like they know that girl from the cursed family's here. What? No, Bartek was dismayed. It's just people don't exactly love strangers here. Xenophobic jerks. I was curious why, or we can calm down and lose a rage by saying, yeah, tourists could be assholes.
Nope, stay mad.
Yeah.
We're full on spring breakers now.
That's right. All right. Why? Why don't they like strangers? Why? I asked candidly. It's complicated. Bartek scratched his neck, embarrassed by the topic. There's a small conflict around the forest, and it's attracting some weird people. Activists, reporters, bored rich kids, he said, as though his dad didn't own multiple businesses. People like that. And they're getting on the locals' nerves. We can notice Anya frowning, or we can say, fair enough.
Oh, she's back in the story now? Yes.
I mean,
yes,
she's on this tour with us. We've just been busy yelling at this poor boy the entire time.
Let's see how she's doing. interact with the person we brought along with us.
Yeah, I noticed Anya frowning. Anya looked skeptical. Looked up the conflict up online, she said, and it didn't look so small. It looked pretty important, actually. For the moment, Bartek looked like he was lost for words. Well, you're not one of these crazies, so you're like almost local, he swallowed. So what would you like to see in the village of your ancestors? Spread his arms to show me all the splendor the village had to offer. Well, what do you suggest? Okay, we're in the village. It says cats are watching my every move as we moved along the empty streets. So we have 3 choices. We can go to the old cemetery, which is described as family graves, mysteries of the past. The abandoned railway, which has lost hopes and strange dreams, or village center, new friends, hidden tensions.
Cemetery might have the name of people of our family. Give us a bit more information on that. Let's do the cemetery first.
Yeah. Matters to the soul. So we have quite a few churches here, Bartek explained as we walked down the road. 2 Orthodox, 1 Catholic, and even a Baptist church, he said, as though it was something uncommon. So I asked about it. Was there a synagogue? Or it seemed like a lot of churches. It's a lot of churches, buddy.
Too many churches. Let's go with the churches.
It sure seemed like a lot of churches. Could they all just use one building, I asked? Damn. Oh, I never thought of that, he paused. I guess they could, but most of these churches have been here for some time, so we still use them. I don't have a tradition of using the same building for different denominations, so it is what it is. Any Lutheran churches, asked Anya? I don't think so. Bartek shook his head as he led us to a small wooden church surrounded by a cemetery. Anyway, even though we have all these churches, there's only one cemetery. Church was Orthodox, but the graves were a mishmash of styles and faiths. Catholic, Orthodox, atheist, everyone resting together. We can say Bartek looked like he didn't approve. The place reminded me of a forest. God, we just got forest brain. Or we can lose one rage and say there was something poetic about it.
How many rage we got?
We are full. We have 3 points of rage, and our meter is full. All of our stats have 3 points. Again, I assume this changes when we shift, because when in the tutorial, when we were in the full werewolf form, whose name I'm forgetting right now, we had way more rage and way more health and way less willpower.
Well, we gotta stay angry. We gotta keep that up.
Yeah, fuck poetry.
Fuck poetry. let's go to our strengths. Yeah. What was the other two? Not poetry.
We can notice that Bartek is not approving, or we can just say, "Man, graves like a forest." Am I right?
Like a forest.
Got major forest brain here.
Yeah.
Came here to look at a forest, and so everything looks like a forest. It's like in the forest, I said, looking for the spruces growing among the graves. It's full of death. What's fallen stays where it fell. There's other kinds of trees, bushes, and animals' life grown out of it all. Bartek didn't look convinced. Yeah, maybe. He looked at the cemetery, and for a moment he seemed lost in his thoughts. All of my family lies here, he said. I mean, the ones that are dead. Hey, what do you think? What happens when you die? We can give in to our rage and say, I didn't believe all that religious crap. We can say that only memories remain, or that I hope for something fair.
Only memories remain sounds a little too poetic. Let's be anti-religious.
I mean, we already said, like, why you need multiple churches? Aren't all religions the same? Just use the same building. Didn't believe all that religious crap. We have increased our brave, but Bartek is now cautious. He's went from neutral to cautious. Nothing. Religion is just a bunch of superstitious crap for stupid people. That's what my mom taught me, and at the moment I believed it completely. Bartek looked at me hurt. Hey, that's people's beliefs you're talking about. Well, they're stupid beliefs. He looked over the cemetery fence. Well, anyway, this is it. Spiritual heart of Biovesa. You can go see something else if you like. So that's where we stood. I wanted to go in, and that asshole stood in my way. We can give in to our rage and say, what was he playing at? Or we can just laugh it off and use a point of willpower.
Let's laugh it off. We're being unusually cruel to Bartek for no reason.
Alright, we're impaired. We have no brain meat energy left. Are you kidding me? I didn't come here to look at something. I came to look for something. I laugh, opening the gate. Bartek shifted uncomfortably. I don't know if that's a good idea. But why? Or he was hiding something.
We don't understand how cemeteries work.
We're American. We're American. We don't give a shit. American Werewolf in Biovesa.
Oh man, we become such a like tourist Karen immediately. Just ruin this guy's day for no reason.
Yeah, he's hiding something.
Yeah.
You found it, my family's grave. Maybe? So what are we waiting for? Anya smiled at him. He mumbled something and led us through the labyrinth of graves at the far end of the cemetery. We continued. We walked through the narrow walkways between graves. Bartek's pace was painfully slow, but I had no choice but to follow him. Gritting my teeth and cursing under my breath as he stopped every few steps and looked around. At one point, he threw me a condemning look. We're in a graveyard, Maia. Have some respect, will you? He barked. Before I had a chance to answer, we saw a woman. Tall, broad-shouldered, and long-legged, with gray dreadlocks pinned to the crown of her head. She must have been in her late 40s or early 50s. She was marching through the walkways with fury in her eyes. Bartek quickly stepped between the graves to get out of her way. Because we have high rage, we can walk on ignoring her. If we had any willpower, we could give her some space, but we don't, so fuck her. We gotta get going.
Run her over.
I just kept going. She just kept going. Invariably, we bumped into each other. Hey, watch your fucking step, she growled. We can give in to our rage and start yelling at her in return, or we can apologize.
Can we apologize? That sounds like that's, willpower there.
No, it's not a willpower check, so we can't apologize, but I agree.
Oh.
Fuck this lady.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Watch your fucking step. She snorted and weighed me up. Kids, she mumbled and shrugged. At least you're able to speak up for yourself. I didn't answer, or we started chatting. It's like, oh, now we're best friends. Fuck you. No, fuck you. No, fuck you. Hi, I love you.
Yeah. We're now good with this person. This is how this works.
Yeah. Chatted for a while. I decided to ask her for directions. Actually, I'm looking for an old grave, I said. My family lived here, and what's the name? Borodias. Borodias, I said with perfect Polish accent. Young Borodajsowina. Oh my goodness, I didn't know I was going to have to learn Polish to play this game. Oh no. Borodajsowina. She said, using an antiquated feminine form of the name. She shook her head. Just coming back from there. Go to the end of here, turn left, and go to the far corner of the wall. She looked at me in a funny way. What was her problem? Or I can thank her.
Thank her. We finally have somebody who's helping us.
Oh, thank you. Bartek didn't seem to know the way. So then did she notice him. Oh, it's you. She said, barely hidden disdain. Well, I guess I better be going. See you around, I guess. With that, she left, followed by Bartek's hostile gaze. She was disturbing. I asked Bartek about her, or I shrugged and went on.
Let's learn more about our actual friend now.
Olga. Her name is Olga, and she is neutral. Who was that? I asked, watching the woman leave. Bartek wins. Oh, that's Olga. She's a local activist. She left Bioveza when she was 18 or something, returned a few years back with the notion she was going to change this place. Continued to the far corner of the cemetery. There seemed to be a forgotten and covered in moss with a lonely grave. It was damaged. The tombstone was broken deliberately. Someone had obviously smashed it with a hammer. The name was half erased. Path was also damaged. Someone had tried to scratch out the name, but the letters were still visible. There's a circle around the grave. Circle of coarse salt around the grave. I'm sorry, Bartek sighed. I didn't want you to see that. We can give into our rage and go, what superstitious bullshit! We can need to know who did this, or wonder if this is because of her.
Her as in Olga?
No, as in us, as in Maia. What's it because of me?
No, nobody knew you existed a moment ago. Man, the most self-centered character we've played so far. That's saying something.
Well, to be fair, we picked that we're the chosen one with a destiny, so we did sort of decide that was what we were doing.
Well, you know what? You're right. That's fair. I gotta remember that. Who did this?
All right, I need to know who did this. Who did this? I asked, gritting my teeth. I don't know. Anya squatted and looked at the plaque. I can't read it. The letters are all wrong. She glanced at Bartek. Is it in Russian? Belarusian. Same letters, different language, he explained. There are a lot of them here before the war. Looked at Bartek, hoping for some context. Bartek put his hands in his pockets. So, you don't know anything about your dad's side of the family, he asked me cautiously. Whatever happened at least 70 years ago, and someone still remembers. We can rage and say that was absurd. We could say that he's got a point. Or because we have no willpower, we could just say, I want to go. I'm tired. I don't like being here. I want to leave.
Man. Let's... I'm the worst person ever.
I say we rage. It's 70 years ago. We're a young lady. We don't give a shit about 70 years ago. Fuck that. Oh, Bartek is now unfriendly. We have now made an enemy. Remember? Remember what? I pushed him. These people have been dead for almost 100 years. What fucking harm could they do 6 feet under the ground? Hey, he yelled, regaining his balance. Are you insane? I haven't done anything, for fuck's sake. He straightened his t-shirt. Let's go. I shouldn't have brought you here in the first place. Girl, you need therapy. Anya shot me a disapproving glance and ran after Bartek. There wasn't much left to do, or I looked at the grave.
Look at the grave. We've already pissed off our both of our friends. So let's keep up the chosen one.
Looked at the grave for the last time. My family's name looked strange, written in unfamiliar Belarusian letters. As we were leaving, I was thinking, I was on to something. One willpower. Something unnatural about my family. And I come to Biovesa. Had stirred some old demons. Should have found out what my ancestors were doing here. Maybe with that would show me what I was destined to do. With that thought, I left the cemetery. Day was hot and beautiful, yet I couldn't stop thinking about the desecrated grave. Do we want to go to the village center or go to the abandoned railway?
Oh, abandoned railway. We could do that.
Bartek,
by ourselves.
Yeah, Bartek wants to show us the most picturesque spot in the area, said Anya. Maybe that's not the right word, he said, frowning. Well, it's not like it's that beautiful, but it has, atmosphere, a climate. Did he mean cool? Ambiance? Which one do you think? Did he mean cool, question mark, or ambiance, question mark?
He's got to make mean ambiance. I don't know anything about cool in this place.
Ambiance? Anya said at the same moment as I, and we laughed. Ha 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 ha. Ambiance! Bartek smiled, visibly relieved. I'm in ambiance. We ended up some abandoned tracks. Because our rage is high, we say we soon left the village behind and ended up on some abandoned motorway tracks. The perfect place to meet a serial killer, I grumbled, looking at the overgrown tracks disappearing among the trees. With the slow winding river a stone's throw away and the long drooping branches of old trees shading the unused railway, the place really was picturesque. Bees buzzed around us, birds sang like there was no tomorrow, and the fragrance of herbs hung thick in the air. My head was spinning. We can give it to our rage and say we were bursting with energy. We can remember a song, or wonder why the track is abandoned.
Uh, uh, Bursting with energy. We're enjoying ourselves finally.
That gave us a point of brave. Let's race to the trees, I shouted before they could react. I was already running. We could say it was an easy win, or we could lose a point of willpower and say I didn't look back.
Uh, Easy win.
Easy win. People are babies. Oh, Bartek is now actively hostile to us, and Anya doesn't like us very much. Anya's now neutral. Has gone from being trusted to neutral.
Jeez.
It's- it's-
They didn't like losing this race, huh?
I started with a jog and gradually sped up, but they never caught up with me. It's only when the shadow of the trees engulfed me that I stopped to look back. Bartek and Anya were way behind, walking at a leisurely pace, laughing and talking. Jerks. Yeah, how dare they not be part of my impromptu race. I felt someone watching me. I noticed and turned around. A woman was standing among the trees. She didn't look surprised to see me. She was stunning. Ooh. The woman looked like she was in her late 30s and was the most beautiful person I'd ever seen. She had a perfect hourglass figure, long braids, and the most stunning cheekbones. Her eyes, slightly slanted, were a weird shade of blue. Deep, almost purple. They seemed familiar. She was staring straight at me. So here's our three options. It was a challenge. Her eyes were hypnotizing, or we can lose a point of rage and take a step back.
No one can be better than we. We're the chosen one.
Yeah, it's a challenge. She's neutral. Saw a challenge in her eyes, and I felt the hair on my neck stand on end. She smiled. I'm Lisa, she said, looking at Anya, and then again at me. And you must be Bartek's pen pal, I assume, the one searching for our ancestry? We can go, how did she know? Or we can exchange pleasantries.
Be nice to her. We gotta start being nice to somebody.
Yeah. Alright. Lisa asked whether I liked it here, what I'd seen, and how long we were planning to stay. Since we were alone, I have some advice from you. She looked the way I'd come from. Don't get too attached to your friends here, it won't last. Didn't know what to say, so we just stood there looking at one another. Do you mind if I join you? She asked when Bartek and Anya approached. We can give in to our rage and say, yes, I do mind. We can notice Bartek getting tense, or we can just say, sure, whatever. I'll go with it.
Let's see what more Bartek is tense.
So what's the story with you two? I asked Bartek. She's from around here, he shook his head, but she helps with the protests. You know, the protests against the logging that his father so eagerly promotes. Bartek winced and snapped, I guess. Sorry, shouldn't we coexist with the forest? That means taking what we need to survive, just as everything does. 6,000 trucks of wood isn't taking what you need, kid. He threw me a glance looking for help. Our options are logging in a national park. She had a point, or people needed to have jobs.
We are. Oh man, I don't think as a werewolf thing we should be pro, capitalism here. Uh, uh, so Bartek's whole thing is his dad is the like boss of like half the town, right? Is that is his whole, you know,
Yeah, something
issue?
like that.
Uh, we're not gonna be friends with Bartek. Oh no.
Well, I mean, he already hates
Yeah.
us.
Oh well, in that case,
he's he's already hostile to us.
let's side with her and be like, yeah, yeah, nobody should have jobs.
Don't look at me, Bartek. I think it's barbaric. I wasn't about to beat her out of the bush. If this was about local action, there wouldn't be a problem, Anya chimed in, but it isn't. Giant corporations are at work here with heavy machinery. Ask your friend about his father's money and his clients, Lisa shrugged. Bartek stormed away. I shrugged and followed him. Lisa followed me. We walked the narrow path. The path was too narrow for all of us to walk together, so at some point I found myself walking with Lisa. She would squat from time to time to collect some herbs. So you're looking for your roots, she asked after a while. Why? We can give in to our rage and say it's none of her business. We can say we needed to know the whole story, or that we couldn't resist a mystery.
Couldn't resist a mystery. If we get angry at everybody, we're gonna have no allies at all.
We gained a point of analytical. My mom's hiding something from me, I answered, and I can't resist a mystery. Sit down with me. She nestled among the roots of an old tree, reached into her basket and took out a blunt. Hell yeah. Let's have a smoke and I'll tell you a story. She noticed when I hesitated, you need to hear it. All right. We can sit down, or we can take a little bit of that. Take that blunt and get ready to smoke, baby. Token up. 420.
Well, when in Rome.
Yeah. So let a cloud of smoke and started talking. From what I learned from Bartek's grandma, you're asking the wrong questions about the wrong people. I decided to cut to the chase. What should I be asking? Or we can lose one rage and go, her voice was so soothing. Oh,
What should we be asking?
I've taken one puff of marijuana and already I'm so high. Oh, jeez.
Oh no. I like how Bartek sacrificed, his reputation with a lot of the elderly here just so that he can,
Have us yell at him
immediately
constantly. Yeah.
immediately turn on him.
Yeah, fuck this guy. Alright, well, her voice is soothing. Closed my eyes and just went with the story. It's the tainted land girl, she continued. So much blood was spilled that Puzeska almost lost her mind. Puzeska? Her? Which one do we want to ask? We want to ask about the name, or do we want to say her?
Ask about the name.
Puzeska was one of the words for the forest. Polish had lots of those, but she used it in a weird way. Why'd you call the forest Puzeska? Isn't lost the right word? I call her Puzeska because it's her proper name, she huffed. Las is to Puzeska what dog is to a wolf. Domesticated, enslaved ewes, Puzeska is a primeval forest, one untouched by humans, primal, strong, feared. There's admiration in her voice, and I realized that the words sounded like a rustle of leaves like the wind. Pusheshka. As I was telling you, Pusheshka almost went mad. It's not wise to wait those spirits, especially not now. But I needed answers. What spirits? Or I wasn't afraid to stir up memories. I ain't afraid of no memories.
I ain't afraid of no memories.
Do you mean the spirits of the past? I shrugged. I'm not afraid to stir up some memories. She looked at me with those uncanny eyes. Her gaze was almost unbearable hard, with anger smoldering somewhere deep within it, ready to jump at my throat. Then suddenly something changed. Lisa sighed heavily. You have no idea, do you? We can say, about what? Or about the past?
Uh, uh, let's be confused. About what? Let's try to.
What do you mean? I asked. So I have no idea who you are, she stated. No one told you what it was like here during the war and after it. Her eyes lost focus as she thought she was looking at something only she could see. In 1939, when the war broke out, first came the Germans and the Russians. You know, they actually worked together. Stalin never forgot he was beaten by the Poles in 1920. He shot me a glance. She shot me a glance. I shrugged, or I nodded politely. Yeah, sure, I know what history is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know where I'm.
I've heard of history.
Are we still in the? Yeah, I've heard of history. Let's go.
I didn't really care, but I nodded politely. You have no idea what I'm talking about. It doesn't matter, really. She took a drag. Anyway, many millions of lives later, Stalin and Hitler stopped sleeping together, so to speak, and the Germans came, and then the Russians again, and then there were forest soldiers. The forest part got my attention, or I listened, holding my breath.
Forest, new forest, yes.
Forest.
Forest.
I nodded so she would continue. The forest part got my attention. They started as Polish soldiers, but then the war ended and they became guerrillas to fight the Russian occupation, and then they ended up desperate bandits, she sighed. People who lived here, they were all the same. Germans, Russians, forest soldiers. They killed, they maimed, they tortured and burned villages. It didn't matter what language they spoke. What did that have to do with me? How did she know? Or she looked sad.
What does this have to do with me? We're the chosen one. We are the most self-centered person in this entire game.
Thanks to the history lesson, I said, but where do I fit into all of it? Great-grandparents were from here, she sighed. After the war, there were some changes, and my whole family was sent to Siberia to die. Grandmother was the only one who survived. She met a Buryat shaman, and here I am. But your story's tangled with all this. She looked straight at me. There's a lot of buried in your past, and it weighs on your future. Then the weed hit me. Ow! Ow, weed, ow.
Oh no.
And of course, that was the moment when the weed finally hit. Stuff was powerful, and for a moment I wonder if she hadn't spiked it. We can gain one rage and say, what had she done? Or we can lose our final willpower to try to stay focused.
You know, you have a point. Like werewolf on weed probably is going to be an issue. You know what? We don't need allies. Yell at her too.
Tried to stand up, but a flux of smells and sounds and visions hit me like a wave, and suddenly I was somewhere else. Because we are brave, we say we are sitting around a fire deep in the Pundeska. We are hungry and desperate, our boots worn down, coats and rags. The forest whispers to me, tells me what has to be done. They have food and we need it, I say. To keep fighting, we need to live. I explain the plan, or we say nothing more.
Say nothing more.
We sit in silence, knowing what's coming. Tomorrow we're going to burn a village. Wolves circle us in the shadows, their eyes bright like fires. Then the vision ends. Came to my senses, Lisa was still looking at me. I got defensive, I ran it over in my head, or lose one rage and say, oh, this is a lot to take in.
Alright, we can lose a rage. We can be slightly less ragey to have a moment of clarity.
Forest soldiers, the unknown past, the mysteries, it's a lot to take in. She shrugged. I've told you everything I know. If you want more, talk to my girlfriend. We'll be at the logging site tomorrow. Yeah, good idea. We've gained a willpower by learning that my grandfather's deeds might have shaped my future. I will, I said. Now I finally know who and what to ask. There you are, Bartik waved to me. I thought I'd lost you. I said my goodbyes to Lisa and we went back. The bison statues were watching me with their creepy painted eyes as though they knew me. Only place left to explore is the village center, so let's go there. This is such a nice village, exclaimed Anya as we walked along the quiet street. Nothing moved. The heat was stifling. We can gain a rage and say, we're bored! We could say the village was very quaint, or we could lose another rage and say, oh, well, I'm enjoying the walk.
Well, we are unquestionably high. I can see us being very bored about this.
It sounds good. We're bored. Please give me flashbacks of my teenage years in the Midwest, I complained, kicking an empty beer can down the road. I was bored, ready to start a fight. I was thirsty. Something to drink, I proposed. I'm parched. Local store was a mini mart with all kinds of goods, from beer to vegetables, notebooks to pens. Bench in the entrance, and on it was our few local drunks. Because our rage is high, we determined that they looked like they wanted to start a fight. But when I stared them down, they averted their eyes, pretending there was nothing to see other than their cheap alcohol. We can give in to our rage and growl at them. We can tease them, or we can assess them as a threat.
Assessing sounds like observation. We're not observation. Let's tease them. Let's be an asshole. Let's go full tourist.
We gained a point of inspiring. I straightened up, adding extra sway to my hips, and was sure their eyes on me, I flipped them the bird and went inside. Did you really have to do that? Bartek shook his head. Spent some time inside browsing the Latvian, Lithuanian, Belarusian goods. Why was there almost nothing Polish here? Who in their right mind drinks coriander soda? You. You do. How much coriander soda have you had?
Actually, I don't know about that one. Chrysanthemum a lot. I don't know about coriander.
I don't know about coriander. Oh my gosh.
I have to look that up.
Putting the soda back on the shelf, we heard a commotion from outside. Loud voices. Some slurs, some curses, and a clear, mockingly polite, I'm so sorry, darlings. I don't understand. Do you like my skirt? Ah, fuck, Bartek murmured under his breath. We can give it to our rage and say, I wanted in on this fight. I want in. Or we can just look outside.
Let's look outside, and then if we see a fight, let's go fight.
Looked outside, there was someone sitting next to the drunkard's bench. They were definitely not local. The person was old, not helpless granny old, but old, with deep wrinkles and a narrow mouth. They had the unisex grace of a tired heroin-preserved rockman. Their shoulder-length disheveled hair completed the look. We can totally dig their style, or say that they looked out of place.
They look like a rock man?
Yeah. Like an old rocker who's had too many drugs and has become a weird leathery surface person.
Oh, okay. So it's like an Iggy Pop. Yeah, we're fine with that.
Yeah, I
What do you think?
dig their style. They had a peculiar style, fashion you rarely see in the U.S. It looked great on them. They had a clean shave and eyes highlighted with eyeliner. The nails were painted blight blue. Blight blue. That seems like a Citadel paint color. Blight blue. Bright blue. Let's go with bright. They wore heavy army boots, an outrageously red skirt, tank top, and lots of leather jewelry. On their bag, there were lots of pins. Lots and lots of pins. All kinds of LGBTQA plus flags, anarchist, pacifist symbols, I think some German band stripes. We can give in to our rage and approach the drunkards, or we could say, well, Mom would have told me not to fight him.
We're gonna go full rage. Let's be mean to the drunks.
Yeah. I zeroed in on the drunkards. What do you think you're doing? I asked in Polish. There was a sentence I'd heard a lot as a child. So ci wybrasz? They looked at me surprised. The men were unnaturally tense, veins on their necks standing out, pulsing, wise with their eyes bloodshot. And who the hell are you? Asked the one who seemed to be the leader of the group. We can give in to our rage and just immediately punch them in the face, or we can yell at them.
Oh no. We gotta look cool in front of the rocker. We gotta do this. let's just punch him in the face.
Yeah, fuck this guy. I'm the girl who broke your nose, I answered with a grin. What? And then I punched him.
Yeah.
We got an achievement for getting into a fight. Yay. Maya! Shouted Anya, shocked, but I didn't listen to her. This wasn't my first rodeo. I got into fights all the time. We can give into our rage and say, I love fighting. Or we can remember our past fight and say, that time I wasn't alone. Or we can observe our opponents.
uh, uh, oh, I kind of want to observe the opponents, but I know that that's not who we are. Let's just ride this out. If we get our ass kicked, we get our ass
Yeah, I
kicked.
love fighting. I love fighting. We gain more brave. I love getting into fights, actually. It was the only way I could really get my heart pumping, my body working, the adrenaline in my veins, and an enemy under my fists. It was a glorious feeling. Stranger in the Red Skirt also wasn't new to such situations. I can only admire the way they use their heavy army boots. We can lose a point of willpower to kick their asses, or we can lose a point of health because our opponents had broken bottles.
Oh, we get to choose if we get our ass kicked or not.
Yeah,
Wow.
winning takes us a point of willpower. Well, yeah, you didn't notice. You might not have. You didn't notice. It said like if we lose all of our health, we don't die or nothing. It's just that we can't like do physical actions. Like I don't think anything is going to stop this story.
I think that perhaps we should win this one. Just out of bravado alone.
Hell yeah. We have a whole 2 points of willpower.
Oh man, we can burn those.
Yeah, kick their asses.
Yeah.
Punch, we ducked, we kicked, some bloody knuckles or a small price to play for victory. Before anything serious could happen, there was a piercing, irritated shout that stopped us all in our tracks. Hey, someone from behind said from behind our backs. The voice was loud and piercing, and there was something about it that made men stop immediately. Maybe pause as well, but the stranger in the red skirt seemed to stop out of politeness, not because of the sheer power of the voice. Turned around. It was Lisa. Oh, what the fuck's going on here? Kim, are you insane? And you, she pointed finger at the men. You should stop drinking that moonshine. It makes you pick fights you can't win. I was ready for a fight, or she looked ferocious.
That's the one that.
Lisa was the one that got us high a little bit ago.
Yeah. Let's be semi-nice to Lisa.
What does it say about Lisa in our menu here? Let's see. She had perfect hourglass figure, long braids, foreign Russia, and of Belarusian Buryat descent. All right, sure. So we're gonna say she looked ferocious?
Yeah.
Looked ferocious, and the drunks started explaining themselves. But look at this, Elzuinia, one of them said, gesturing towards us. For the last fucking time, the name's Lisa. She was furious. And this is my friend. You're to leave them alone. Got it. Drunkards mumbled and went back to drinking. Thanks, Lisa, Kim said in English. You shouldn't have. Oh, but I wanted to. We can give in to our rage and say, she spoiled my fun. I could have murdered some drunks. This is no fair. We can wave at Lisa and say, hi there. Hi, girlfriend. Or we can wonder how she commands so much respect in this town.
The respect one. Let's be
Why did
really Lisa for no reason.
Why'd they listen to you? I asked. She turned to me and shrugged with just a smile. Oh, they have their reasons. I think I saw relief in her eyes when she looked at me. Hi, Maya. I was worried you got yourself in trouble there. So will you join us on the anti-logging protest tomorrow? She asked me after a while. A sudden feeling rushed over me. I was burning, or we can lose 1 point of rage and say I was cold.
We're on fire. We just want a fight against drunks. We should be real into this.
Yeah, we're burning. I'm ready. Couldn't see the forest from here, but I suddenly felt very aware of its presence. I also felt something else deep in my stomach spreading through my veins. Anger. Like a wave of heat coming from the heart of the dark ancient forest. A word appeared in my mind, a strange one that was neither Polish nor English. Kalgira. I noticed Kim watching me. I felt like I was being watched. When I looked up, I saw Kim observing me with a curious expression. We haven't been properly introduced, they said in a soft voice. We can give in to our rage and say, what did they want? Or we could say they were hiding something.
Oh, they're hiding something. We're gonna be paranoid this whole time too.
I looked at them and realized they were much more than they first seemed. Under the colorful attire looked something else, something primal. Why are you looking at me like that? I asked. I have strange dreams, they whispered. I suspect the force is reaching out to you. They leaned closer to me. Can't escape your destiny. Words like a punch to the gut. It would be dangerous to even try. We can say, I don't want to hear it. I didn't want to hear it. Or we can lose our last point of willpower and say, who was I?
I'll burn the willpower. We don't need that. We can be.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Who am I? I asked quietly. You're a warrior, they said, looking me in the eyes. You'll make it through in one piece. Suddenly I felt confident, and we got that willpower back. I wasn't making that up. There was some strange destiny waiting for me, and there were people who knew what was going on. Before I could ask more, Anya and Bartek approached, and Kim shook their head, silencing me. He's tomorrow at the logging site. They blew me a kiss, put their arm around Lisa, and walked away. Decided to leave as well. Kept looking over my shoulder, but no one was following us. We called it a day and went back. B&B was quaint. I left Anya and Bartek outside. It looked as though they needed some time alone to say their goodbyes. Got out of the shower, Anya was back, smiling a little flustered. What a day, she smiled. So what do you think? I made a quick mental inventory of everything that happened that day. They were cutting down the forest. I remembered the scene at the shop. I mentioned the graveyard. I told her what happened when I talked with Lisa.
We did enjoy a forest. That is true. It's the only thing that seems to matter with this character.
Yeah, how did they cut down the forest? I can't believe they're logging here. I shook my head. Is the forest on a UNESCO list or something? Anya's now sympathetic to us. Yeah, I know. I want to go check out this protest tomorrow. Maybe we could go there? We have the other three options now. Looks like we're probably going to talk through everything with Anya.
Oh, okay. Just go to the list then.
Alright, I remember the scene at the shop. Remember the shop? The tension seemed almost unnatural. I didn't think people in Poland normally pick fights so easily. Maybe they just envied Kim's style, Anya tried to joke, but she seemed worried. Oh, we can now pick I don't feel like talking anymore if we don't want to talk about the other two things.
No, I think we should have a full conversation with Anya. She seems like she's interested right now.
Yeah, I mentioned the graveyard. What happened there? People are still vandalizing my family's grave. What did my grandfather do? Anya's sympathetic, so she says, whatever it was, it's not your fault. It wasn't, but it could be my responsibility. We can tell her what happened when I talk with Lisa, or don't feel like talking anymore.
See what her opinions are on Lisa.
Alright. Me and Lisa got like real high. Something weird happened when I was talking with Lisa. I think it was a joint, but I saw some things. It looked like something from my past. From your past? It's like when I searched for words to explain it to her, but I couldn't really. I think it was my grandpa. It's hard to say, but sure was weird. I shrugged, ending the topic. I didn't feel like talking anymore. You know what? I'm seriously tired. Let's call it a day, shall we? Soon we were both on our beds, ready to sleep. I was tired, sure, but also excited. Because of my high rage. Excitement isn't the best for sleep. I lay there for a while, thinking about everything that happened and what might happen next. The wind from the open window lapped over my skin as I watched the silver rectangle painted on the wall by moonlight. So much was happening here. I could feel everything boiling, lots and lots of threads entwining. I was one of these threads, and my role will soon be uncovered. I felt I was getting closer to my answers to gain one willpower. Felt the answers I was looking for were within my reach. I just had to go see the logging protest, meet the right people, make them talk. After a long while, all these thoughts became blurry. They slowly started to turn to pictures, sounds, and colors. I drifted off. In the big city, old men sit in leather chairs, were lazily enjoying their ever-growing wealth. They watch Biovesa. On flickering screens, they watch me. I feel the excitement rising deep within my stomach, then throughout my whole body. Because our rage is high, we can say, I am a weapon. Or we can say, I'm a cub.
We've acted like we are a weapon.
Yeah, we are a weapon. I'm a razor-sharp knife. I am a sword. I'm a gun waiting to be fired. I'm asleep for now, but soon someone will use me, and I cannot wait. I fill a pool. And I surrender to it. I am pointed towards a clearing. There are a pile of fresh corpses of people who died too young, skinned and mutilated. Loved ones stand around them, grieving, unable to do anything, waiting. Suddenly, they are just trees and tree trunks. I roar, I howl, or I look around.
We roar. That sounds like something that our character would do. Knowing our character so far.
We gain some brave. There's a roar, and I realize it's mine. I will kill whoever hurts these trees. There's a stench in the air, like meat rotting in acid, but somehow worse. I see the monstrous army. Their mandibles are whirling chainsaws. Their long metal arms are wrapped with black pipes that look like glistening intestines. Smells vile. They wait unmoving. We can charge at them. We can turn to the forest for answers, or we can lose one rage and pay our respects to the dead.
Do you think the forest would have answers for us?
I think we're a weapon.
Oh, I think we're a weapon. Yeah, charge them.
Yeah. Try to breathe through my mouth, so I run towards the machines. I kick them blindly, screaming at the top of my lungs. My own screams, I hear strange whispers. They tell me to look at the sky. There, between the stars, two shapes circle each other, an old sad wolf with gray hair and a white weasel. They keep their eyes on one another as they continue their dance, suspicious but not hostile. We need to fight the enemy, that rotting, awful stench. I know that much, but how can we do that when we don't trust each other? They stop. They look at me in the clearing. We can jump towards them with our rage, or we can use 1 point of willpower to challenge them to a fight.
Do 'em, yeah. Challenge them to a fight.
Oh, Puzeska, the forest, is now sympathetic to us. Nice. Come and face me. Once again, I don't recognize the words, but I understand. They come down to me. Their voice is the voice of the Puzeska. Come here, cub. We have great things ahead of us. I wake up. All right. Well, that's the end of the chapter. We're now at chapter 2, logging. Do you think we should stop here?
Yeah, I think we've done enough damage this first go.
Yeah, it's time to log, but we'll have to log next time. But for now, let's go to art time.
I mean, we've got
We got some art here.
we got some art. Bit of a slow go at the beginning there.
Yeah. We're drinking our coffee. We're heading to Werewolf Village. We're getting very high, and then we're beating the shit out of people. What more do we need, really?
It is so far the story as exactly as written.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely what's happening. We're punching dudes.
Oh.
We're angry. Yeah. So what are you thinking of the heart of the forest so far? Do we have a true forest heart?
So far the only person we've endeared ourselves to is in fact the forest.
Yeah. Well, Anya's sympathetic too. So Anya likes us as well. She didn't hate us. Lisa's okay with us, I think.
We're just gonna be mean to everyone, and they're gonna, slowly be like cool with it after a while.
Well, I mean,
Just be
in theory, Lisa and Kim know we're werewolf, so they probably understand why we're angry all the time. In theory,
turns out they have no idea we're werewolves. They just that becomes a completely different issue.
it's like
Uh,
I just tell everybody they're having strange dreams. What are you talking about? Werewolf? Forests? What?
Look, I had no idea about this. I was just trying to be, like a little spiritual, I totally didn't understand what was happening here. Uh, I'm interested. I want to see where this character goes. Now that we finally have a character that can fight. Unlike Jake Huntington.
Everyone loves Jake Huntington, the man who had sex with a god in order
Oh
to save the
man,
world.
they
He's like,
didn't even like bring that up until like the last second too. We didn't really have a choice in that matter. It was just like, oh, this is gonna be the only way to win. You might want to take it.
by the way, you want to have the best sex of your life. You might save the world too. And Jake Huntington's like, I guess. I guess so. My wife's dead. Oh, Jake. But we don't care about Jake anymore. We care about Maia, our angry lady, who's gone to another country just to shout at everybody there, just Karening it up.
The full tourist, spring break.
Yeah,
Uh,
I do like that. Like it said, like we weren't here to do tourist stuff, and then we immediately picked to do tourist stuff and just scream at everybody.
oh man, I'm very interested to see what happens next time. As we go and immediately burn down a logging camp for no reason. Uh,
I mean, it seems like
uh,
for a pretty good reason, but we'll see. We'll see.
but be the only job in the entire, valley, and we burn it down.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, sometimes you just gotta seize the means of production? Question mark. I don't know.
are you prepared for next time?
I hope
You
to
got
be.
words of wisdom?
What's my words of wisdom? Well, I think this time what we learned is that the best thing to do is to be very non-binary and punch people a lot. I think it's probably we've learned good things about that. We've also learned that the best thing to do is to drag a person out somewhere and then wing woman for them by constantly screaming at the guy that they're flirting with. so, so that they look better by comparison. Like, Anya, we got your back. Don't worry. I've been cussing out the guy that you're flirting with.
We spent all this
You
time,
got this.
catfishing this guy in order to get him to get us over there, only to immediately turn on him.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
jeez.
Well, maybe he's into
Uh,
that. Who knows? Who knows?
uh, see you next time.
Yeah. Till next time, let's contemplate what we've learned here, and come back refreshed and ready to learn more about the forest.
Because
See,
it's the only thing we care about.
it's the only thing. See ya.